Hi, I'm Gabriella Pantalena. I'm an architect. I live and work in Palermo, Sicily, and I'm also advisor of the Architects Association of Italy. I am happy to attend to this conference and I thank all those who have allowed it. I wish to thank the Chongqing College of Architecture and Design for inviting me to this important seminar, and I hope to be able to visit in person beautiful Chongqing in next future and also to collaborate with the Chinese colleagues. Now let's go to talk about prefabrication. Any elements of construction which are not raw materials but have undergone a prior processing before the on-site work may be considered prefabricated. For example, the bricks produced in a furnace or roofing tiles or any pre-constructed elements before the final laying or the pre-folder irons for concrete reinforcement, or even the pre-cut number stone ashlars of the great medieval buildings. Today, the term prefabrication has taken on a different and more complete meaning. It is considered as prefabrication when the entire construction production process changes the size and the functional complexity of the manufactured elements involving the way of conceiving the project. The design cannot disregard a close connection between the production phases and the construction site, with important repercussion on the morphological, typological and formal arrangement, and on the settlement structure of the buildings thus obtained. The prefabrication of construction today offers prefabricated systems with more flexible and lighter components. It reduces the activity of the construction site on an almost exclusive dry assembly sequence without the use of mortars and concrete jets. The work is based on the concept of integrated design. It becomes fundamental that structural, plant, and architectural design work together and proceed together. Prefabrication allows to carefully manage all issues of construction from the birth to the end-of-life phase. Prefabrication can also help to improve the environmental impact on the construction industry. In fact, you can have benefit such as a wider use of recycled materials like timber, steel or aluminium, or up to 80% in reduction of waste materials during the on-site work. My video contribution at this meeting will illustrate some contemporary technologies now used in Italy, from the most traditional to the most alternative. I would also like to demonstrate that it is possible to achieve quality architecture with the prefabrication technology. In particular, I will illustrate two projects of prefabricated residence, one in wood panels and the other in granite panels. But a premise. I was asked to speak also about small prefabricated cities made in Italy. In Italy, we don't have these examples. The market of prefabricated buildings is very active, but exclusively for individual buildings. We don't have cities. The only small prefabricated towns used in Italy are only used in the event of emergency such as earthquakes. In this case, small prefabricated towns are fitted, but the houses are more like containers than high-quality buildings. Recently, wooden houses have been increasingly appreciated and their construction is spreading in Italy. What does this constructive system consist of? This particular method of construction realizes a statically bearing frame in vertical and horizontal wooden beams. Both sides closed with covering panel, for example, chipboard panels or plaster panels. The empty spaces inside the frame are filled with insulating and non-conductive material. What are the characteristics of a wooden house? First, stability. A house with prefabricated wooden elements has extraordinary characteristics and static properties. Durability. A wooden house offers a safe environment to live in for long. Security. A wooden house offers a considerably greater seismic security compared to a traditional house. Resale value. Prefabricated construction meets the standards of a conventional construction system. Flexibility. Wooden houses offer individual solutions for the floor plan, the design and the style. Dry construction system. Contrary to the conventional construction system, it doesn't need drying time. Therefore, they can be inhabited very early. Cheap building works are not a problem. The customers can do a lot of works cheaply. That is why wooden houses are perfect self-contained houses, or houses in the advanced rows. In addition, we can say that prefabricated houses with a wooden frame construction system are built in record time, months ahead of a massive masonry house. A wooden house has excellent insulation values and a good reduction in CO2 emissions compared to the production of bricks, cement and steel. It has been verified that with the necessary energy for 1 square meters of brick wall, you can realize up to 8 square meters of wooden wall. The project was carried out by the architect Alessandro Vanoni, architectural designer expert in building with high energy efficiency. Vanoni's central idea about this work is to promote sustainable development construction with energy efficiency, high indoor comfort and respect for the environment as main objectives. Vanoni's buildings are characterized by high energy performance that result in saving on heating and cooling costs, as well as a significant reduction in pollution emissions. The importance of the project stands in achieving an excellent architectural quality and high energy and technological performance. Vanoni's work is based on the concept of integrated design. A building is comparable to the human body, where the structures correspond to the skeleton, the installations to the circulatory system, and the design to the skin. This metaphor explains how fundamental the connection between structural, plant, and architectural design is. They must work together and proceed together in order to give life to a harmonious organism. Within walking distance from Varese, this residential project involves the construction of 4 single-family 2-story villas with low energy consumption. One of them is already finished. The high efficiency of walls is guaranteed by the use of eco-line panels. The efficiency level of the casing is maintained constant by the installation of PVC doors and windows with triple low emissive glass to ensure maximum performance and better durability over time. Each housing unit is provided with a controlled mechanical ventilation system, a reversible heat pump, a non-redundant system, a predisposition for the home automation system, meeting all the modern sustainability requirements. The performance check on the completed building was done with a blower door test, which allows to measure the earthiness of a building after imposing a certain difference in pressure between inside and outside, identify the air leaks of the performance building envelope, and the presence of any discontinuities on the air seal layer. The results have highlighted the high performance achieved thanks to the prefabrication system in wood frame used. In the construction of the building, Vanoni used for the insulation XPS panels, for the infill wall XLAM panels. Lightweight, easy to process, the XPS is finding a very heterogeneous application in the building industry to insulate buildings. It is used in a humid environments or in contact with the ground, in situations of high compressive stress, in the realization of insulating sandwich panels, the so-called overcoat insulation. It can also be used alone or in combination with plasterboard, wooden panels, or plastic or metal laminates to insulate floors, walls, or ceilings. XPS comes from styrene, a natural substance found naturally in beans and coffee beans, hops, walnuts, and strawberries. Extruded XPS is more compact. In fact, extruded means that its closed cell structure is homogeneous and stable, which makes it possible to absorb water and allows it a high resistance to compression. There are different solutions and technologies to make wooden houses, including the XLAM system, which uses special wooden panels that are truly innovative products with excellent mechanical performance. The XLAM panels are obtained by gluing several layers of wood boards about 2 cm thick in odd numbers. These boards are glued in several directions so that the fibers of the different layers are orthogonal to each other. The aim is to improve the performance of the final panel. Generally, the boards used are made of coniferous wood, subjected to a drying process that ensures protection from biological agents' attacks. In order to maintain the naturalness of the wood, the glues used for gluing the panels are free of formaldehyde and other dangerous chemical substances. The panels can be cut in different shapes and sizes, based on the architectural design of the building to be constructed. Now, I would like to introduce you to the prefabricated granite house made by Stefano Pugliatti of Elastico Farm. An impelling need for experimentation and an understanding detachment from the more conventional lines of research have accompanied Pugliatti production. The Houses of Cards project exemplifies his line of experimentation and today brings out with extreme clarity some of the themes that define it. The search for alternative construction possibilities with traditional materials, as in the case with Sardinian granite or their unexpected combination, confidence with an idea of architecture that is constantly at work between the physical reality of material and an uncompromising creative attitude. The Houses of Cards project reinterprets the performance standards of materials to produce a new and a highly expressive constructive solution. The project for the Houses of Cards started at the end of 2015. Elastico Farm has been carrying on for years a structural research on building materials and on the technology and techniques related to them. In the last 10 years, Elastico Farm have been engaged in the study and experimental application of prefabricated structural elements for industrial buildings. At the same time, they have worked with brick, stone, wood and prefabricated reinforced concrete industry to fully understand their potential and the possibility for alternative or and combined use of those materials in the construction market. Elastico research on Sardinian granite began in 2013 when they were approached by a quarry from Olbia to study their material and to evaluate the unexpressed potential of this unique, relatively inexpensive and abundant product. Sardinian granite is an intrusive igneous rock that has excellent properties due to the pressure and the temperature at the origin of its formation. While in the past it was widely used for the structural purposes, as for the columns of the Pantheon, nowadays is normally employed for cladding or for flooring. The idea of using granite for the load-bearing panels comes from the observation of the excavation process and the acquired knowledge of the technologies with which the rock is extracted and trimmed. To be more specific, the cutting of the quarry wall with the wires allows a certain accuracy, while the compactness of the material makes it possible to produce blocks and slabs, even of very large dimensions. Considering the weights and the overall dimension for transporting the slabs, Elastico established that the plausible size for an optimal use of the panel was 600 cm by 240 cm, with a variable thickness depending on the structural needs from 12 cm to 20 cm. The Houses of Cards, built in an allotment of a small town in the province of Turin, in northern Italy are part of the experimentation phase on the large granite slab for use as a load-bearing construction element. Both houses consist of a triple level of superimposed septa that connect thanks to a system of cuts and metal dowels. During the structural design phase, for normative reasons related to their certification, Elasticofarm chose to combine granite slabs with other concrete panels. Working in combination with the colored concrete panels has helped Elasticofarm to understand the limits and the opportunities of this material. The cut house has an orthogonal and very compact structure in which the slabs define a sequence of external microenvironments that filter the passage towards the inside of the house. There are a double height toll connects the different levels. The heart of the house therefore acts as a scenographic distribution element and can be perceived from every room. The structure of the doghouse develops around the central patio, an empty core that serves as an inner courtyard whose access is mediated by a sequence of spaces defined by the radial arrangement of the slabs. Even internal rooms on the ground floor are arranged radially and always have direct contact with both the garden and the inner courtyard. On the first floor, on the other hand, the irregular layout of the structural panels produce less practicable internal and external spaces. Both bedrooms open onto a large terrace overlooking the empty interior of the house, an intimate space, close to the outside and the nearby street. In both buildings, the load-bearing structure plays a scenographic role and defines the essence of the two houses. The slabs, with the materiality of granite or white color of the concrete, define and give character to the spaces. Similarly to the vertical structures, the floors were installed using the technology of the composite slab in concrete and steel. These elements rest directly on the panels thanks to saddle or plate connections and connect the structural slabs together. During the design phase, the architects paid great attention to the choice of the more efficient technologies to insulate and waterproof the structural skeleton and the entire building. The different points of contact between the structural elements and those between them and the building envelope have required solutions that were always very specific. This allowed the designers to solve every thermal bridge and avoid possible infiltrations while always keeping clear. During the design and the construction phase, Elasticofarm managed to develop a strategy capable of avoiding thermal breach even when the slabs are exhibited in the interior. In both houses, custom paste concrete was used only for the foundations and the composite slabs. All the finishes, both inside and outside, are consistent with an initial concept. Mechanical and electrical systems rely on solutions that allow great flexibility for possible future changes and expansions. Finally, after these examples, I would like to conclude my report by quoting the work of ofLab. ofLab creates a very alternative prefabricated wall that is almost a provocation and an invitation to reflect. The entrance door that marks the outdoor spaces of the Expo Casa 219 event is conceived in the form of a communicative wall, programmatically titled Message in the Bottles. The image of the door, both immediate and evocative, is defined through a system of walls made with multi-directional steel tubular structure. The wall is depicted with messages of invitation to reflect on the need for a new ethical responsibility of building and is made by direct printing on PVC sheeting solidarized by elastic bands to the metal structure. The central part of the wall lives inside the structural component and is filled with 20,000 plastic bottles and symbolically elected as a new raw material of the construction industry. A message to awareness of the importance of eco-design, because eco-design will save the world from plastic.